So if you've been following my channel, you've probably seen this that I made way back on one of the videos. I made a tutorial. So I went through my papers today and I was thinking, what should I do? Because today outside is really rainy. So I was thinking maybe I can make more of these. So I decided I'm going to make more of this kind of journaling cards with this kind of paper that I have from the calendar diary. This is from my grandmother. I just pulled them all apart and I stacked them up. So here I have all of the blank pages. I have another stack of the pages that have a little bit of writing, but today I just wanted to use this, and maybe I can make another version of this with just regular paper. I already made some. So this is like a really orangey neon color, and this one isn't stitched, it's just edged around, and then this one is just stitched top and bottom. And this was actually a boo-boo that I made. It was like this, and my machine I think it was like this. I don't know, something happened with my machine, and then I just pulled the threads out and I restitched it, but I didn't like it how it looked like. So what I did is just I cut it down and made two, and I'm gonna still use this one for myself. And these are stitched, already finished. I just need to stencil on the front and back. I really like how it looks like, and with stenciling it's gonna look really cool. And this one is with really old wrapping paper that I wanted to utilize. It's my grandmother's wrapping paper, and I didn't use the same papers here. I just wanted to use something in these kind of colors. So if you have a little bit of paper that you really want to use, you can do it like this as well. And I think this is what I'm gonna do today. So let me put this aside. So here I have more of the wrapping paper. Whoop. This is really small piece of some gift, again from my grandmother. I want to utilize as much as I can of this paper, so I could go with for the sides, for these holes, I could pick any color that I have on the paper, so like blues and greens or purple or pink. So I think I'm just gonna go with pink. But let me see. This is my homemade scrapbook paper or design paper, however you want to call it. And what I do is just, this is Aldi's user manual for something, and I just wanted to use it up because the pages are not glossy, they're not very thin, but even if they would be very thin, I would still use it. And I used some acrylics, some watercolors, and just painted both pages and stenciled over it, so that way I can create new interesting papers. And I'm pretty sure I made a video about it, like a tutorial style thing, so you can go check it out down below, and I'm going to put a card above as well. So basically I have just painted the pages with one color or two colors or three colors, depends on what mood I was in, or if I had some paint that I wanted to use up. Here I have a lot of yellow. So for this one, let me see. I think I want to go with something blue or pink. Like something like this I think would go just fine. So I have a lot of books like that, like different stuff, and I'm just painting the pages. So I can just show you, and we can find one together. Let's see where I started here. Oh, we have green. Maybe this green could go. I like this green, but it's kind of too it's not very dark. Maybe I can find something darker. I like the blue. Let's see. Yellow, yellow. A lot of yellow. I kind of started to like yellow more. So let's see, what do we have here? Oh, I love this green. I'm gonna use this green for something else, like the top of the actual journaling card. Just me playing with homemade stamps. I'm gonna take this one as well. Yeah. This could go too. Okay, let's see this one. This is like a geographic type magazine. Let's find, I think I started, yeah. So I could use that for the top as well. That this would be really cool. Again, my homemade stamps and just making some circles and stuff. But I think this one would go too. And this one, I really like this one. Okay, I'm gonna take this out. So let's start. I wanted to fill the holes with some color. So I'm gonna turn them around and I'm gonna put a strip on the other side where the holes are, because this is gonna be like this. And then I will have holes on both sides. So let me think. Gonna use this one, and I'm gonna use my trimmer for this, because if I decide to use this paper for top and bottom on another card, then I wanted to have straight lines. I'll make it shorter. It's about, these holes are like, I don't know, 5 millimeters or something. So I just need a strip that I can use up. And yes, you can use different colors on the front and the back of the card. You're not limited. Let me glue this bit of glue. So usually I use glue stick for this, but today I decided I'm going to use a white glue because I have so much, and my paintbrush, and I do have a water here right next to me, so I can dip it into water when I'm not using it, so my paintbrush doesn't dry out from the glue. So it's not all stiff and all. I really should put more glue on it, but let's say this is kind of on here. And now I'm going to do the same thing for my other paper. I'm gonna do the same glue thing. And me using the brush, it makes it way easier to spread. My fingers are clean most of the time. You know, sometimes, yeah, I do it with my finger, but I try to not do it because then it's all gluey, sticky mess. And I kind of like to have clean projects. You know, when you have inky hands and then you mix with the glue and then everything is that color that you were inking before. So I'm going to use some substrate in the middle of these two papers, so it's going to be more stiff. And I decided to raid my school papers from when I was in high school and middle school and all of that. And obviously I have a lot. So these are double-sided and I'm going to use them in another projects as well. But this is a math paper, and I just wanted to use it up. And this is going to be something that I'm going to stiffen this page up. And I'm going to use this page to glue it on this page because it's easier and I can actually go all around. And again, using glue stick, I'm not going over the holes because that is going to make your glue stick seep out and you can tear it and all that. So just use it on the side where there is no holes. And now what I'm going to do is try to figure out if I can put it on half and make some straight edges. I'm going to use all the scraps that are too tiny to work with for the collages. I'm going to just mark where my orange red thingy is, so I can cut a little bit more than that so it will cover the top, and I'm gonna cover the bottom, and I'm gonna do the same thing, a little bit more. This way you're just gluing papers down, and you can use a lot of variety of papers. Like here we have just magazine page that it's painted, and yes, like any newspaper, and I've used that before. If you have thinner paper, it's actually better for this kind of thing, because if you're stitching and all that, then it's easier to stitch if it's not really thick paper. So yeah, you could use scrapbook paper, like the thin one. Just covering like this, smoothing it down. So let's do the bottom as well. And glue. Try to not glue on my mat, but you know, this is way easier if you have a small brush than with the finger, and it's more precise as well. Oh, this is gonna look really neat. And if you have just like 3 colors, you can make papers from any magazine and make, you know, and make these kind of journaling cards for your journal. And you can stamp the papers, stencil the papers. And now you can leave it like that and stitch all around. You can put a word up there. You can cut your corners. I really like them when they're cut. And I have 2 of these. One is for thicker stuff. One is just for thin paper. 1 sheet of paper. I decided that I really need 2 when I wanted to cut just 1 paper. It's way easier. And now I'm gonna just distress it with some black. You could ink these papers as well, but I think it's not necessary at all with the stitching. If you don't have the sewing machine, or if you don't know how to sew, then you can actually find stamps that have the stitching on it, and you can use that as well to make some false stitching, or you can just use your marker and make false stitching if you wanted to. I really like it. I'm gonna make another one with different papers. These are some papers that I actually have in my shop. I made a pack with different kinds of paper, music paper and typewriter papers and stuff. So this is actually a typewriter thingy, and I just wanted to make journaling cards with these papers. They are perforated on the side because they were bound together with a plastic coil thingy. And let me just think how I want to do this. I think I want to make them like this. I'm just gonna fold it together like so and crease it. Yeah. And then I was thinking I could just make them something like this. And if you like this kind of look, you can just put your papers through chinch or perforated machine thingy, or you can just make holes. I wanted to put this like this. So I'll have 2 pieces, and I can actually use the same method that I did on the other one. So I'm gonna have perforation on both sides. And now I wanted to use this one. I'm just going to use this one, even though it's too short. I'm gonna extend it, so no problem there. I just need more strips, and I think I want to use this one too. When I pull this brush from out of the water, I always wipe it so it's not soaking wet. This way it's it's not going to ruin your papers and buckle them up. It's just gonna be glue on the paper. So just a tip, if you decide to use the brush to spread your glue. And one more. Let's see, is this enough? I think it is. Yeah. And one more, and I want to put the glue on this. I think this blue piece of IKEA catalog was one of the papers that I actually glued together and then painted over. So many small scraps of same thin paper, and I created another paper from it. I think I actually showed that in the video too, so I'm gonna link that down below as well. And now I'm gonna use this one and do the same thing. And I think I'm just going to use this paper. I need to make it a little bit shorter. Like something like this. Good way to use up your scrap paper and magazine paper and just random junk mail you get in your mail. Like so. And now it's gonna be more sturdy. Yeah, it's gonna be like 3 pages. I love that. And you can still see the back. I'm not bothered with that at all. Is this aligned? Not really, but it's already down. So in this case, I'm just gonna snip a little bit. Gonna go like so. So I want to cover top and bottom with this page. Oh, this is really cool looking page. And I'm just gonna decide on this hole's length. Something like this, and then something like, where did I start? Okay. Something like this. Bit of glue. Like so. This is a little bit different because you have to make sure that you're putting on straight. I actually have to think about where I'm gonna put it. I don't have it marked already what I want to cover, but it's still doable for sure. So like this. Let me put this at the bottom. I'm not bothered if the front side has more of the strip than the back. I just like how it makes it a little bit different when you put the top and the bottom. You could use washi tape as well and do the same thing. But if you're stitching, maybe your machine needle will gum up a lot, and I don't know. I just like it. I just like to use papers because it's really easy and quick way to do it. I think I want a stencil before I'm going to stitch, so you can actually see how it's gonna look like if it's not stitched. So I'm going to use my very loved watercolors for this, and I'm going to pick blue Just put a little bit of water there. I don't know if there is any color to pick up. Yeah, a little bit. I want to use this setup so I can move on to the next one. I've got this stencil that it's pretty much from paint and all. Okay, I want to use this one. Let's see if I can grab more paint. Something like this. Just lightly going through. So you can still write on it and it's not, you know, too heavy. Like this. And you can see some numbers in the back. I love that. So I cleaned up my table a little bit. And I wanted to do another one with just this piece of paper that I'm left with. And I want to use this, and let me think, kind of like this table. I could probably use it like this and just put top and bottom. Why not? And here I have from the previous projects, I guess, an envelope that is glued together. And I'm just going to unglue it because I want to use the painted paper from the envelope. Come on. So I was thinking what I want to do with this one. Since I don't have any perforations, I want to make it a little bit more special. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stencil both sides on the inside, and it's going to show on the other side as well. So let me just go with dark blue with my watercolors, my lovely watercolors. And let's see, something like this. And I'm trying to do really dark ones so you can actually see on the other side. And even if the color is not blue all the way, since my stencil is not clean, it's not going to be a problem. I'm going to put a white page on the other side. Can you see that? Probably you can. It's just something interesting. And let's do the same on this one. Yeah, it's not the perfect stenciling, but it doesn't matter. It's gonna look really good. And I have this page. Let me see if you can see it through. Yeah. And I'm just going to use the whole page. Make it a little bit more sturdy. Whoop. And this. I don't want to glue this side because maybe it can smudge a lot, and I have to press down this glue stick really good. So you're like this and we are like this. I'm not exact on top and bottom, but it doesn't matter. Can you actually see how that looks like? If I would put the middle page that would be really dark blue, gray, or black, you would not see as much of this design. It would just fade into the color of the background. So this is kind of a neat way just to play around, or if you just want to have like a light design. Now I think I'm gonna go with this because it looks like it's imprinted in the paper and it looks really cool. Yep. Okay, I'm just gonna take, I don't know, a sliver of something that it's more or less straight. Are we straight? Probably not. Like this, and something like this, and something like this. Probably they're both the same width, but it doesn't matter. And I want to just make the sides all same. Because I didn't align it really nicely, so. Okay. So you go here, my wet paintbrush and the glue, and let's glue it down. I'm gonna pull it back a little bit so it's not gonna go over my text. I'm going to have a little bit of gap at the top. Paper that I'm using is not perfect. Somewhere it's a bit thicker because I couldn't take off all of the other side of the envelope thingy because I glued them together one time, but it doesn't matter. I can still use it up. One side is gonna be a little bit thicker, but I don't mind. I think my sewing machine is gonna handle it just fine. Yep, I like this. Even though it doesn't have a perforation, you can make the same thing with just regular papers. And if you think it's a little bit big for your journal, you can cut it down and just fix the corners again, and that's it. I'm gonna stitch all of them, and then I'm gonna come back and show you how they look like. They look like they're printed, but they're not. And I really like this stencil that I put on. This side, I think it's way better. The randomness of the bubbles. And then we have this one, the blue one, with different kind of perforation. And I can actually see where the text is, so you can turn upside down if that's bothering you. So it's the correct way, but I'm not really bothered by that. And the last one, where we stenciled on the back of the paper, so you can see it through. I really like how that looks like. And yeah, I did kind of cover with the stitching, the writing above. On the back, for me it was a little bit too plain, even with the stenciling we did on the other side. So I tried to align my stencil and just went over with a little bit of purple. So it's more interesting for me right now. But this side, I just left it as it is because I like it because it's not so empty. So yeah, these are all the cards that we made together. I hope this video inspired you to make some journaling cards for your junk journal. Thank you very much for watching. Bye!